Hey everyone, welcome to Pink Tutu Tarot. So today we're going to take a look at your reputation in the workplace. What do they think of you? How do they feel about you? So I've got three cards here, one for each reading. Group 1, your card is number 57, Squirrel Spirit, and it says believe in yourself. Squirrel Spirit, believe in yourself. Group 2, your card is number 65, Whale Spirit, and it says trust the great mystery. And group 3, your card is number 5, and it's the Bat Spirit. A rebirth is assured. All right, those are your cards. Those are your groups. All you have to do now is go down into the description box, click on the timestamp for the reading you want to watch, and it will take you straight there. All right, thanks, y'all. Hey, group 1. All right, today we're going to take a look at your reputation in the workplace. So, your initial card is the Squirrel Spirit. It says believe in yourself. Leave that there while I get the rest of your cards down. All right, then we have Trine Sextile Symbiosis. And let's get your tarot cards down. All right, your first card is the Five of Swords. Three of Wands. The Ace of Cups. Three of Wands again. Queen of Swords. And the Fool. All right. Leave those there. I'm just going to take 1 second to just get some initial messages for you before we jump into the cards. Real quick before I do, I'd like to mention that if you would like a personal reading, one that's just about you, any questions you may have, a situation in your life, you can check my website, pink22tarot.com, and you can see my availability there. Otherwise, I hope this reading gives you what you need. I hope it's helpful to you. If it is, please consider giving it a thumbs up, dropping me a comment, subscribing, certainly if you haven't done that yet. It helps me know that our energies are connecting. It helps keep us connected for future readings. And it lets me know that the work I'm doing here is worthwhile. So I really appreciate that. All right, give me just a sec now. I'm going to stop and listen for some messages for you. Okay, the first thing I'm hearing is that your reputation is mixed based on how the higher ups in your company feel about you. You have a mixed reputation. Primarily good, but with some troubling spots, some things that you could work on. It doesn't feel like anything tragic to me. It doesn't feel like anything irreparable to me. Just some things that are like dark spots on the fruit, if that makes sense to you. All right, so let's jump into the cards and see if we can get some more specific here. Your first card here, the Squirrel Spirit, believe in yourself. Absolutely. The people in your workplace feel you have a lot of potential, and I'm seeing that in several places here in your reading. They feel you have a lot of potential. They feel your work ethic is strong. They feel that sometimes you may doubt yourself, that you make certain comments or do certain things that appear to them as if you have a bit of lack of confidence. I'm also getting for some of you that you don't listen to criticism very well. You may have, some problems with authority. You may not like hearing from someone else that you need to do this better or that better. I am getting this is a minor thing, but it is something that they have noticed, that when someone tries to give you feedback or in any way criticizes your work, that you sometimes do get defensive. And there's a line here between believing in yourself and having confidence in yourself and veering into the area where you think no one can help you, where maybe you know more than someone else. And I know that sounds like the opposite of confidence, but what I'm getting is that it still stems from a lack of confidence in some way, as if that tiny bit of insecurity that's there is what is getting defensive, because part of you is afraid they might be right. And you don't want to believe that. So, again, it's a minor thing. Don't take this as major criticism. It feels like a very minor detail that gets caught now and again by the people you work with, that you sometimes get defensive when receiving feedback. This trine sextile card is telling me that for the most part, you do work well with others. You benefit others in their work. You're helpful to others. You bring them what they need. You are supportive. You're helpful. On occasion, this doesn't always reciprocate. In other words, other people may try to help you and you're very independent and don't always want help. I'm also getting that because of the feedback issue that was mentioned before, that sometimes people avoid helping you. Again, this sounds like a major thing because it's coming up first. It's still a very minor thing. I feel like it only happens now and again, but it is that bruise on the fruit that it's almost like the fruit would be perfect otherwise. Okay, so looking at your tarot cards, we have the Five of Swords with the Three of Wands. The Three of Wands absolutely tells me that you're going places. You have lots of potential. You have a lot to look forward to. And the people in your workplace see this about you. But they also see this defensive side of you, this side of you that feels a bit like you're always in competition with the people you work with or work for, and that you don't always want to hear when someone thinks you've done something wrong or they think you could improve upon something you've done. Someone giving you feedback, constructive or otherwise. I'm not going to, pretend like feedback is always positive. Sometimes people give feedback in negative ways, and it does trigger insecurities in most people when that happens. But it is something that people in the workplace have noticed now and again as being the one thing that is holding you back from your potential, from all the things that are lying ahead for you. Now here we have the Three of Wands again showing up a second time in your reading, which again reiterates how much potential you have, how much you have to look forward to, how much people do rely on you and look to you for your expertise, for your experience, for your input, for your opinion, for your work. They also look to you for your honesty. They feel you are very honest with others. You're honest. You give logical, crisp, concise feedback to others. And that's usually very helpful. Now, sometimes this may come off as a bit curt. It may come off as a bit cold. But that's going to depend on the person on the receiving end and who they are. But for the most part, the people you work with actually very much respect your honesty, respect your work ethic, respect the clarity of purpose you have, respect how clear and concise you are in your communication and in the work you do. And it just furthers this notion that it's as if the people in the workplace see you as someone who will be a potential leader, someone who is a potential leader and will be a leader in the future. And finally, we have the Ace of Cups with the Fool. You are likable. They do like you. So don't take the bits of criticism here to mean that they don't like you. I'm absolutely not getting that. And the Ace of Cups reaffirms that. You are liked. You are likable. They do feel you are happy there. The feedback would be to just relax a little bit, let go a little bit. Maybe try to be a little more open-minded, especially when it comes to feedback, criticism, anything about your work that you may catch yourself feeling defensive about. Try to just let that go. Look at it as a newbie would, right? Somebody new on the job. And I don't feel that most of you on this group one are new at your work. So it's not meant to say that you should act like you're new. But if you go in with the mindset of someone new who is open to criticism, someone who is open to learning, someone who is open to other perspectives and other opinions, it frees you up and it actually may give you some valuable insight that will help you in your career. And it will take you places that will make you ultimately happier in your job, in your work, in your career. Because I do feel that's the one thing that's holding you back. Based on this reading, it really is so much good here. Leadership qualities, lots of potential, great work ethic, clarity, concise communication, every reason to believe in yourself. You work well with others in teaching others, mentoring others, giving other people a leg up. The only challenge that they see right now, the only bruise in the apple, is your ability to receive feedback in return. So it gives you something to work on, group one. But hopefully this all made sense and brought you something valuable that you can now take into the workplace and improve upon. All right, group one, thank you so much for being here. Have a great day, y'all. Bye-bye. Hey, group two. All right, today we're going to take a look at your reputation in the workplace. So your initial card here is the whale spirit, and it says, trust the great mystery. Leave that there while we get your other cards down. All right, we have descendant and invitation on this card. We'll get your tarot. The Five of Cups. The Two of Swords. And the Queen of Cups. The Tower. The Fool in reverse. and the Five of Cups in reverse. Interesting that you have the Five of Cups twice here. All right, give me just a sec. I'm just going to stop and listen for some initial messages for you, and then we'll jump into the cards. Real quick before I do, I like to mention that if you would like a personal reading, one that's just about you and any questions you may have, not a general reading like this, you can check my website, pink22tarot.com, and see my availability there. Otherwise, I hope this reading brings you what you need. If it's helpful to you, meaningful to you, please consider giving it a thumbs up, dropping me a comment down below, subscribing, of course, if you haven't done that yet. It helps me know that our energies are connecting. It helps keep our energies connected for future readings. And it also lets me know that the work I'm doing here is worthwhile. So I do appreciate that. Okay, give me just a sec. I'm just going to listen for some initial messages to get us started. Okay. The first thing I'm hearing is that you have been on a track of progress, of potential success in your job. Everyone was very much on board with that. And then something happened that disappointed you, that sort of changed the dynamic. I don't know, being a general reading, this could vary from, maybe getting a bad annual review, maybe getting passed up for a promotion, maybe just getting some feedback that hurt you in some way. It will be different for all of you, but I am getting that the people in the workplace, your superiors primarily, have noticed a change in your attitude, a change in your demeanor since this thing happened. And they can't quite place how to fix this. They don't know how to get you back to where you were, because I am getting that you were very well liked, that you had lots of potential. I still feel you're very well liked and that you still have lots of potential, but they're wondering what happened. That this switch, something changed. Now, for some of you, this may have even been something in your personal life that changed how you are in the workplace. I don't feel that would be for most of you, but it would be for some of you for sure. The people that you work for have noticed a change in you. I feel for most of you, it's tied to some disappointment that happened on the job or at work. But regardless of what happened, how it happened, there was a change that came about, and you no longer seem happy to be there. So hopefully that makes sense. Doesn't mean you're not happy to be there. I'm giving you this from their point of view, what they're seeing from you on a day-to-day basis. Okay. All right. So your first card being the whale spirit, I am getting that you had quite a large presence in the workplace. That you weren't necessarily a big talker, a show-off, anything like that. But you are a solid worker with lots of potential, big, big potential. A big presence in the office in some way, but it does feel, take this if it resonates for you, leave it if it doesn't, but it does feel like it's a silent presence. You weren't one to brag, to boast, to constantly be chattering and talking, and that's not a bad thing. If that's who you are, I feel the people in your workplace respect that about you. But something changed. You seemed to go more within than normal. You seemed to go deeper into yourself. Now, the people you work with may know where this happened, what triggered it. They may not. It may be a mystery to them what happened, but they are recognizing that something has changed. With this Descendant card, I am getting that they want to find a way to work with you to get you back to where you were, to get your enthusiasm back, to have you feeling welcomed again, to have you feeling a part of the team again. However that makes sense for you in your workplace, They want to bring you back into the fold, but it feels as if you have distanced yourself. And I am getting that the people you work with and for don't necessarily know how to change that. There is a desire to, but I think they don't know exactly what it will take. And that's probably because some of that has to come from you wanting to. Okay? All right, so we start off here with the Five of Cups and the Tower card. So there's definitely something that triggered this change. I do feel for most of you it was something that happened in the workplace, but again, for some of you, this will be something that happened in your personal life. But something triggered it. Something changed your trajectory. Something changed your demeanor. Something changed your attitude. Something changed your mood. You feel much more melancholy to the people you work with. You feel much more insular, more isolated, quieter than normal. You feel more like you don't want to be there. And I do feel that the people you work for see this as a bit of a loss because you do have so much potential. You do have so much to offer. But whatever has happened has pulled you away from that potential, from that enthusiasm. We move into the Two of Swords with the Fool reversed. And I'm getting here that you come across as being much more cautious now. Maybe you took a chance on something. Maybe you stuck your neck out and did something extra, or did something over and above, or did something different, and then it wasn't well received. Maybe you put yourself up for a promotion and were passed up, even though it felt like, you really stretched yourself and took a chance. You felt a bit rejected. You know what happened to you individually, but they're recognizing in you that you're coming across as a bit more cautious, a little bit less carefree, a little less open and enthusiastic. And you seem very, I'm getting very cut and dry when it comes to the work. You've lost the joy. It's like you could do the job with your eyes closed, just like here in the Two of Swords. You can do it with your eyes closed, hit the mark every time, but the joy's not there. So it's not that your work has suffered. It's that a piece of you has changed. Okay, finally we have the Queen of Cups with the Five of Cups reversed. They absolutely believe that this is your bosses, your superiors. They do actually believe that this will change, that you will come back to the you once were. Doesn't mean you will. Some of that is up to you, group two, but your team, your superiors, the people you work for and with, do believe that you'll come back, that whatever has disappointed you will pass, that you will get over it, that you will stop feeling that loss or that rejection or that bruise from something someone said or did, and that you'll come back to being full of life again, full of joy in the office, full of potential. And that is ultimately what I see here. They see you as somebody who has so much potential, so much to offer, such a wonderful presence in the office. And this change in you has you coming off as a bit unrecognizable. They do wonder how to help you, how to bring you back. But ultimately, that's got to come from you. You have to want to. But maybe just knowing that they see these wonderful things in you and they want you to move forward again, maybe that's enough to get you there. I don't know. You'll have to decide for yourself. But they certainly hope you will, and they certainly believe that you will. And I'm getting that they really have high hopes for you in the future, with the company in your role for future promotions. So Consider that, see what it means to you personally, and I hope you found it helpful. Thank you, Group 2. Thanks for being here, and have a great day, y'all. Bye-bye. Hey, Group 3. All right, today we're going to take a look at your reputation in the workplace. So your initial card here is Bat Spirit, and it says a rebirth is assured. Leave that there when we get the rest of your cards down. Okay, we have Leo and Shine. And let's get your tarot cards down as well. We have the Ace of Wands, the Four of Pentacles, the Page of Wands, Nine of Cups in reverse, the Chariot, and the Two of Swords in reverse. Okay, these are your cards. Now just give me 1 second while I stop and listen for some initial messages for you. Real quick before I do, I'd like to mention that if you would like a personal reading, one that's just about you and any questions you may have, you can check my website, pink22tarot.com, and you can see my availability there. Otherwise, I hope this reading gives you what you need. I hope it's helpful and meaningful to you. If it is, please consider giving it a thumbs up, dropping a comment down below, subscribing if you haven't done that yet. It helps me know that our energies are connecting, and it also helps keep our energies connected for future readings. And it does help me know that the work I'm doing here is worthwhile, and I really appreciate that. All right, now give me just a couple of seconds here while I listen and get you some initial messages. Okay, the first thing I'm hearing is that the people in the workplace, and I feel this is probably primarily the leaders, your employers or people you work for, but the people in your workplace feel you are ready for more, that you're ready to go to the next level, or that you would be ready to go to the next level, except that you're hiding behind some kind of wall, hiding behind some sort of facade, some sort of insecurity or vulnerability. They feel that the only thing holding you back is you at this point. Now, you may feel differently. You may feel they are holding you back. Keep in mind, this is from their point of view. But it does help to know how other people see you and how other people are reacting to you. They do feel that you would make a great leader, that you have a lot of potential to rise up and to lead others. I'm getting this strong sense of leading others in whatever job that you do. But you're playing small. They sense that in you. Maybe they would put it in those words, maybe they wouldn't. But they sense in you a hesitancy to try for more, to go for more, to reach for more when you're fully capable. You have the skills, you have the teamwork skills, you have the ability to work well with others. You know what you're doing and you do it well, but you don't see that in yourself. And they do notice that. They do notice that. All right, so looking at your cards, we have first the bat spirit. And absolutely, the people in your workplace, I would say primarily the people you work for, but the people in your workplace see you as someone who is hiding in the dark a bit, hiding in the shadows, but someone who has so much potential to be more, to shine, to be a leader, to be the one that walks others up the ladder, if that makes sense. But absolutely, just like a bat, they see you as somebody who is hiding your light unnecessarily because they believe in you. And we see that here with this Leo card. They see you as someone who could shine, who could be a wonderful leader, someone who could be put in the spotlight, perhaps, someone with a more prominent role. But this is a side of you you have to embrace in order to capture it. If you don't believe in yourself, or if you are afraid of being seen, you may never get there. But like I said, the people that you work for do believe you will get there. So looking at your tarot cards, we start with the Ace of Wands and the Nine of Cups in reverse. Lots of potential. I feel for many of you that you may be very creative, that you have ideas that are out of the box, that you have ideas that are really worth sharing. But I feel sometimes you hesitate to share them, or sometimes you hold back on what you want. Maybe it's an insecurity, maybe it's a fear, maybe you've been burned in the past and people have criticized you, or you've gotten bad feedback, and so you're a bit more cautious now. But I do get the sense that they wonder if this is something you actually do want, because they see the potential in you, but they don't see you acting as if you want it. If you want to be a leader, and not everybody wants to be, but if you do, it may be time to start acting the part. Act like you want it. Act like you already have it. Speak up. Share your ideas. Share your inspiration. Share your creativity. Share your insight. Share those leadership skills that they do see in you, but which right now feel untapped. We go then into the Four of Pentacles with the Chariot. The Chariot means lots of potential to go far, to go fast, to go places, to get places, to secure a future for yourself. But here with the Four of Pentacles, you're hanging on to what you have as if you're afraid to lose it. When really, what's on the other side of that fear is so much potential, is so much greatness. You know, you'll have to look within yourself. If this resonates with you in any way, you'll have to ask yourself, why? Why are you afraid to shine? Why are you afraid to show the world what you want? Show your team, show your workplace who you are and what you want from this job, from this role, from this work. Because they see it in you, they just can't tell that you want it. You're not quite acting as if yet, but there's so much potential here, so much potential. You just need to embrace it. Okay, finally we have here the Page of Wands with the Two of Swords reversed. This to me feels like a decision has to be made, and it can only come from you. Nobody's going to hand this to you without you showing that you want it. So take the blindfold off. Take the distractions out of the way. Take your fears out of the way. Ask yourself, what do I really want? And why am I not going for it? The path is laid out for you. The message here is clear. You've got what it takes. They see it in you, but do you see it in yourself? And are you ready to embrace it? Are you ready to walk that path? Are you ready to go in the direction of your dreams? That's all they're waiting for. They see so much good in you. You work hard, you work fast, you're creative, you have ideas. You're not troubled by internal politics. You're very straightforward and you have so much potential because you work well with others. You don't play the games. You don't fall into the trap of workplace drama and gossip. You don't do any of that, and they see that. They see you as somebody who would be really good in a role that helps others, that leads others, that helps bring others up. But it won't come about until you stop hiding in the dark. So if it is something you want, you just may want to consider changing your outlook just a little bit. Because once you do, and you start to shine your light on yourself, become this Leo lion, you'll be unstoppable. They do see that in you. All right, group 3, I hope that helps. I hope it gives you what you needed, maybe a little boost to get you going. Thank you so much for being here, y'all, and have a great day.